Hey guys, what's going on? It's Waseem here from the channel Handsome Smells. Thank you for joining me on another fragrance video. Today I'm going to be looking at a oud oil. It's from a relatively new house called Habzoud, and the oud oil I'm looking at today is called Zamarad, and Zamarad translates to emerald. So this house has a number of ouds, and the owner of the house names each oud after the first initial impression he gets from smelling his ouds. So he's got another oud called Mukmil, which translates to velvet. There's also another oud from this house called Ard, and Ard translates to earth because the initial impression that he got from smelling the oil for the first time was an earthy smell. So this one is called Zamarad, and it translates to emerald. I'm not sure which language that is, but the name of the oud is Zamarad. And Zamarad is a Malaysian oud, and it's only been aged 3 months. It's a relatively newly distilled oud oil. So what does Zamarad smell like? For me, when I first applied this oud onto my skin, I get very sharp, a very piercing green accord. Now, I've experienced a number of ouds which give off a greenish sort of feel, and the type of greenness that I pick up in those oud oils are like a jungly type or rainforesty, grassy sort of feel, and those sort of green sort of feels sort of transports me to a jungle or a rainforest in the Far East. However, the greenness that I pick up in this scent is completely different to the greenness I've picked up in other oud scents. The oud in this, the greenness from this oud oil has like a sharp, piercing, slightly cool sort of greenness to it, and I pick up notes of pine and cypress, and it sort of takes me to a forest which is quite closer to home. I could imagine walking through a forest here in the UK surrounded by pine and cypress trees, and also sort of wouldn't be amiss walking through a forest in possibly Alaska or Canada in a very cold, piercing sort of day. That's the sort of feeling that I pick up in the opening of Zamarad. As the oud develops on my skin, it starts picking up a sort of perfumey sort of quality, and due to the green notes and the perfumey sort of qualities that this oud gives off, it sort of reminds me of a very popular attar which is called Jannatul Firdaus. Jannatul Firdaus is my father's favourite attar, and he always applies this attar when he goes for Friday prayers. And when I was very young, about 4 or 5 years old, and I used to accompany my dad to the mosque at that age, my dad always used to put a little bit of Jannatul Firdaus attar onto my hand, and I think that's what started my fascination with fragrance and attars at a very young age. And it's my dad's favourite attar, Jannatul Firdaus, and he actually named my sister Firdaus due to that. So a little bit of a background regarding that. But this oud, as I said, as it develops, it from the sharp green piercing opening, it develops into like a perfumey green scent which gives off a vibe of Jannatul Firdaus. As the scent further develops, it keeps that piercing green perfumey sort of smell, but it's introduced to a very subtle frankincense or luban note. It gives off a gorgeous smokiness, but not overly smokiness. It's not incensey, but it just gives off a little tinge of the note of frankincense. And into the dry down of Zamarad, which just really blows me away. In the dry down, this scent gives off a sweet Coca-Cola sort of accord, and you're wondering, what do you mean by Coca-Cola? It gives off this the smell of cola Haribo sweets. It's those sweets that you get from Haribo. It has like a sweety jelly sort of resinously feel, but it has a sweetness Coca-Cola sort of feel to it. Now, Coca-Cola that I pick up in the dry down of this scent, it's not like a fizzy cola. Imagine the Coca-Cola, the fizziness has completely gone away. It's a completely flat cola, and you pick up the sweetness and the scent of the cola. That's the sort of feel that I pick up in the dry down. It's sweet, it has a resinousy sort of feel. There's a touch of smokiness and a very faint warm spiciness as well, and it still keeps that perfumey green piercing opening that you pick up from this oud itself. This oud, Zamarad, is incredibly complex. There's so many facets to this scent, and it has so many different personalities. It was quite a difficult review to make, simply due to the fact that I had so many different personalities, different scent profiles when I was wearing it. Some accords were more prominent in certain testings, and other accords I was getting something quite different. So very complex, very different oud I've come across. I've not come across a oud like this before, and I've actually experienced some Malaysian ouds as well, and this is an oud which just hasn't smelled like any other oud I've ever smelled. This would be a perfect beginner's oud because there's no typical stereotypical oud aspect of this scent. It doesn't smell woody, it doesn't smell like a barnyard, there's no fruity accords as well, there's no floral accords. It's a very perfumey, green, piercing, cool scent with a touch of luban, frankincense, and this amazing sweet resinous sort of Coca-Cola accord in the dry down. A truly terrific oud, and one that's just really shocked me in how it smelled. In terms of performance, Zamarad had moderate projection and moderate sillage. I could really pick up the scent all day when I was wearing it. The scent cloud was very good. In terms of longevity, this one lasted excellently, 10+ hours on my skin. It's a very strong oud oil. It doesn't disappear from your skin straight away. It really lasts a long time. If I was to give Zamarad from the House of Habzoud a rating, it would be a perfect score of 5 out of 5. I would never have ever imagined an oud oil to smell like this one, so I'm really surprised, and I wonder if this sort of oud oil is truly unique. I've not experienced all the ouds in the world, but I would never have thought an oud oil would smell like this, and I'm hoping there's more oud oils which have this sort of scent profile. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review of Zamarad from the House of Habzoud. If you have, then please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this review to be useful, then please do give me a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Until next time, my friends, see you later.